Back to Alpine Garage Sports, talking about the new era of Colorado football. Hey guys, welcome back to Alpine Garage Sports. I know I've been gone for a while and just enjoying the summer and doing a lot of stuff with our family in Colorado and having a good time. But it's time to knuckle down and get back to football. And I just want to appreciate all the other Colorado, uh, podcasters and YouTubers and Uncle Neely and DNVR and David Talks Buffs and I mean, there's so many of them that we watch, right? I want to thank them for keeping me entertained and keeping me informed while I've been out, playing essentially is what I was doing. But we're back now. We're back for the season, and I'm going to have a video or a live every day up until the Georgia Tech game, and I'm just really excited. And so this live is basically just saying I feel like we're in a new era of Colorado football, even though it pretty much started 2 years ago. I almost feel like I don't want to say extended or starting over because the last 2 years have been really kind of centered on the new addition of Coach Prime and Shadur and Travis, right? And just that powerful trio right there really took us a long way. And a new era is always marked by a fundamental shift in the way things are done, the way things are thought about, right? The way things that are experienced by the fans. And this year is going to be one of those years because we don't have Travis and we don't have Shadur. We're kind of getting into what I would consider to be like our year three is almost like our first real year of showing the country what we can do under Coach Prime, University of Colorado, without Shadur and Travis. They're experiencing great success in the NFL now. And even though there's a lot of stuff surrounding that with Shadur, we're not going to get into that today. But just the new additions that we have just been unbelievable. And the last 2 years will always be defined by Coach Prime engineering Colorado back to the way it was looked back in the 90s and even the late 80s, really in the 90s. And that to me is like it's everything. It's everything to me. It's everything to this show. It's everything to my family because now we can, every time we go to a game, it's a brand new experience every single time. And for those of you who have followed this channel over the last couple of years, you've seen that. Like we will literally drain every ounce out of every single game, every single experience. We're on campus for, sometimes 10 or more hours on game day just to kind of to feel it and live it. And with the changes that have been made over the since last season, I just feel like we're starting a new era. I feel like we're getting to see everything maybe that we haven't seen in the last couple of years and the balance that maybe we haven't seen in the last 20 years. And, that starts off with a totally new QB room, right? So we have, outside of a few of the QBs that have stayed in a supporting role, really our two main quarterbacks are brand new to us. One of them has been unproven in college football, but being five-star has exceptional upside for us, right? For the next few years. And then Salter coming in, I think he's just going to light the world on fire. I mean, I think we're going to see 2023 all over again, only on a totally new level. So that's exciting unto its own. The masterfully overhauled offensive line, better last year, tons better last year than the year before. This year, I think it's going to be almost indescribable compared to what we've seen in the past. Even and especially considering the fact that we're trying to establish a run game, right? The sturdy and promising tight end room. That's one of the most exciting things to me this year. Now, obviously, the next point, which is the running room, the running back room, is the thing I'm most excited about this year. But the tight end room, I think I'm equally as excited about, just because we saw this early in 2023, where basically a patch together tight end room, or I should say, one tight end. That wasn't even really a tight end, brought us significant success early in the season. And then we kind of went away from that later in the year. We didn't see it much last year. And this year could be the year that we see that again, yet even more balancing our offense out, right? Uh, the running back room, the running back room, the running back room, the running back room. I was really kind of a little bit afraid of what was going to happen over the offseason because we had some really good running backs. I mean, Dallin Hayden, to me, even though the running game last year was kind of mixed up, I kind of feel like maybe he was thrown under the bus a little bit, or maybe we didn't give him the accolades that I think maybe he'll see this year, as we move on through the year, because we didn't commit to the run, right? So this year, obviously, we're committing to the run, which we'll talk about in a second. And I think this is where we're going to see Dallin shine. Now, he's not the only one. In fact, we don't even know if he's obviously going to be playing in game one against Georgia Tech. But at the same time, we have Trackhawk, and we have several other guys in that room, which we'll be talking about in a future video, that that can establish a run game for us. And I think that in itself is probably the most exciting thing this year. And then the intriguing wide receiver room, I mean, anchored by some returning production in O. Miller, and the fact that we have some really exciting veterans that have joined our team, that people are thinking are going to be high draft choices next year. It's super intriguing. Like, even though I want to establish the run, and I know we will establish run obviously more than we did last year, the wide receivers are key. So I think that to me is something to really look forward to this year. And then the defense, NFL legends, helping build that defensive line, and the defensive line looks really good this year. Like, they look super strong. Like, I think in the entire, if you take the defense in general, I really like keying in on that linebacker group, but the defensive line and the edges to me are the most exciting part of this group this year. Even though we've seen the linebacker room kind of develop through the off season, and I think our defensive secondary is as good as it was last year, if not maybe even better this year. Even without Travis, oddly enough, I'm saying that obviously without Travis, we might even be as a total group in that secondary even better. So looking at the defense for this year, obviously we're going to have to keep points off the board. And obviously we're going to have to put a lot of points on the board because we're playing some really good teams this year. The Big 12 looks even better than it did last year. And it's going to be even harder than it was last year to maintain that 9-3 record or even go above that to the Big 12 championship. And then you add coaches. I mean, Domata Peko, you've got holy mackerel. The room for our coaches has just exploded. It was already great, but with the addition of Marshall Falk and Byron Leftwich and several others in that room, those were necessary pieces that we needed to continue to develop our team in areas that maybe we would suffer in. I mean, we had Shedeur Sanders last year at quarterback. Obviously, he's always developing, but he was already a great quarterback, right? So now we've got two quarterbacks, one that's developing from high school and one that is finishing up his college career. And having somebody like Leftwich to come in there and help solidify us on that offense, especially with the quarterbacks, it could be legendary for us this year. I'm gonna throw out the word legendary, because to take two quarterbacks that are brand new to a system and turn them into what potentially could be one of the best teams in the Big 12 and maybe even one of the best teams, maybe even a top 25, top 15 team in the country this year, from ashes, because no one's given us credit for this, right? Because it's unknown, could be huge for us. And then obviously Marshall Falk. The thing I like about Marshall Falk, outside of the fact that I just love Marshall Falk as a running back, for those of you who've watched this channel before, I key in on the running room. I love a running game. My childhood was built on the wishbone. I played in a lot of those systems in football, and I just love running backs. The addition of Marshall Falk by itself is awesome. The thing I like about more than that is that the addition of Marshall Falk to me, feels like Coach Prime is committing to the run. Like, why would you bring him in if you were not going to commit to the run and the running back room, and you weren't going to establish as a dual threat team and not just a spread offense or something like that? And that could make us a world beater this year, honestly. And that's kind of what I'm keying in on this year, is the balance that we have with the tight end group, the balance that we have with our entirely new running game, including our offensive line and our ability to run there. The addition of a quarterback who could potentially put up 1,000 yards this year on the ground. It's just like I don't even know where you start to try to defend this team without ever seeing us on the field, right? So I think that's where Georgia Tech has got its hands full. We kind of know Georgia Tech. I say we kind of know Georgia Tech. We have film on Georgia Tech. We've seen Georgia Tech last year. They're different a little bit this year, but not tons different, and they're really good. But we're playing them at home, so there's a lot about this year to be excited for, and that's why I say that we have the potential to continue shocking the world. We've shocked the world for the last 2 years. This year, I think that it's fallen off a little bit. People are kind of not giving us credit for what Coach Prime is continuing to build and be the architect of. And this year, I think the reason why I say this is a new era is because this will be the year that Coach Prime solidifies himself as one of the best coaches in college football, which I don't think he's been given credit for. I really don't. This could be the year that he wins Big 12 Coach of the Year. I mean, maybe even bigger than that. There's so much at stake for this year on a positive note for the University of Colorado. It's just like it's been building and building and building and building with me. Not doing videos and not doing lives, but being involved in other people's lives and videos. So it's just an unbelievable year. On top of that, we will be blitzing, or because there is no we. This channel is basically me. I will be breaking down all of the rooms in ways that it's going to be technical in some ways, but also what is the potential of this room? Like, what if coaches give these rooms, like the tight end room and the running back room specifically, if we integrate those the way that I think we can and the way that we have in the past in certain aspects, I don't think there's a way that any team can really slow us down. And I think that we could end up scoring more points this year than we have in the past 2 years. Not combined, but just I think that's how potent our offense could be with the pieces that we have put together in this, or Coach Prime and the team have put together for the University of Colorado. So please subscribe if you haven't already. We're just getting started in this year, and I will be back tomorrow with another video. And I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you for stopping by. We will see you in the next video.